Hey, my hair beauties. It's Donna Chanel, your natural hair coach, coaching you to better habits for longer and healthier hair. And if you prefer your hair short, let's just keep it healthy. Today, we are going to do a video on Shebe, the Shebe method. Last year, maybe a year and a half ago, I did a Shebe treatment for about 4 months, 3, 4 months, and it helped me gain length. I wasn't able to record the whole entire process or anything like that. I did do a video on the Shebe method, but now I'm going to do a full instructional video on how you do the Shebe method, the preparation for this. So this is going to be a little bit of a long one. So Shebe powder. It's a Chadian powder that African Chadian women use in their hair. They use it since they're little, and they apply it via a method on a consistent basis to gain length. And if you want to see the length of their hair, I'll put a link in the comments or somewhere in the video so that you guys can click on and take a look at the length of these women's hair. Their hair is definitely like down to their hips. So these people these beautiful African women, I should say, use the Shebe to gain length. And I just want you to know, if you guys ever heard of the Shebe powder, it's not a hair growth method. It's a method to retain your length. So as your hair is growing, a lot of times the ends will be split or your hair be damaged. So even though your hair is growing, you're not retaining your length. That's why your hair is not getting longer. So the Shebe method is a way for you to retain your length as it grows and give your hair a rest from like the everyday normal life. So on the Shebe method, you will not be combing your hair every day. You will not be doing anything to it except for the consistent maintenance of the Shebe method. So a lot of people out there will do the Shebe powder for an hour and then rinse it out. But the Chadian women do not do that. They leave the Shebe in their hair for long periods of times. Could be a year, could be longer. I am going to do it as long as I can stand it. The last time I did it, I think I said it was 3 or 4 months where I did the method, and I was so surprised as to see my hair, the length. Now, right now my hair is it's in a stretched state, I could say. It's not straight. My hair is mid-back when it's straightened. So it's best for you to prepare your hair before doing the Shebe method, because it should be as straight as you can so that your ends aren't like rattled or tangled or anything like that. So what I did to prepare for this is I blow dried my hair, not with like hard heat or anything, maybe on a low heat, and just detangled my hair basically. And so that will get it to a state so when I put the Shebe on it, it'll be nice and stretched. And what we're doing is we're pulling it tight and stretching the hair. So before you do the Shebe method, get your things together to prepare. So the first thing you would do is prepare your hair. So that's what I did. Blow dried it, right? Okay. So what you need for the Shebe method is a few things. First, some oils that you would want to put on your hair. And let me show you the oils I chose. I chose vitamin E oil. You can get that from Dollar Tree. And by any means, I'm not sponsored by them or anything, but I believe in getting the best for your money. Some things you don't have to spend a lot on. So the vitamin E oil, and this particular one from Dollar Tree is 1,500 IU, so that's perfect. The other oil that I'm going to use is almond oil. I use this in a lot of my products. And the other oil that I'm going to be using is onion oil. Onion oil is an oil that I make, and just to let you know, I have a video from, I believe, a year and a half ago, teaching the properties of onion oil for your hair. Sulfur is in onions, and that's very, very good for your hair. So if you want to think about something that will grow your hair and do your hair very well, onion oil. And I teach you how to make that from scratch. If you go back in my videos, you'll be able to find that. If you want to see that again, let me know. I'll repost so you can see that. And then I'm using a hair moisturizer. I use a Do Grow hair moisturizer. So what you're doing, you're creating a mixture of oils and moisturizer. And don't look at this because I'm not using this. I just use the bottle. And I don't know if you guys can see that, but that's a mixture of those oils and the moisturizer. So that's the first thing that you're going to do. So you're going to take your best oils that you like and mix those all together. And then also set aside an oil for the smell, because I will tell you, Shea powder does not smell good at all. It don't. So be prepared for that. So I use lavender oil. So after I'm done and my hair is coated and the way I'm supposed to, I take the lavender oil, put in my scalp on the braid, and that covers that smell. Not a lot, but it does cover the smell so that when I put my wig on, you won't smell it. So that's the first thing, the oils and the moisturizer you gotta make, because you gotta coat your hair with that. So you'll see that as I'm doing that. The second thing that you need is the actual Chebe. So the Chebe you can get on Amazon or anywhere. The cheapest I've seen is on Amazon. And I'm gonna kind of show you what it looks like. It basically looks like dirt. You don't need a whole lot of it. And you'll see how we're using that once we get to that. Now, the last thing that I'm going to use as part of my coating before I put the Chebe on is a Chebe hair smoothie. I sell this and I make this. Now, you can definitely use this on its own, but it's made as a protectant, and it's made so that you're not combing your hair every day. This is for people that are going to do protective plaits or what have you. You put this on your hair and then you're putting on your wigs. This is specifically made for that. And it conditions your hair. You can also take this and put on your hair, put your cap on at night. Well, you would spray it, right? And then you will put this on, put your cap on, go throughout either your day or overnight with your plastic cap on, and then you get up and you rinse this out. But yeah, this is the Chebe hair smoothie that I make and sell. This is made with the Chebe powder along with some other good things like shea butter and some other oils and everything. So it's very good. And it's called the Chebe hair smoothie, and it's available on my website, and I will put that in a link as well. Yeah, this is the one I'm actually going to be using, because it's a little bit, I made it a little bit more potent than the one that I put on my site. So yeah, so basically those are all the materials that I'm going to be using. So when you're doing the Chebe challenge, or I should say method to extend your length, to condition your hair, there are a couple of things that you have to do. First, you have to take out some edges, because we're not going to be doing our edges. So it's very important. If you look at the videos of the chatting women, they do not include the edges. So I'm going to my edges are and then not only, that's not the only reason why I'm doing that as well. The wig I'm going to be wearing, I need a tad bit of leave out for that. So we're not going to be the very, very edge of your edges. The Chatting women, they use a little bit more, but I'm not going to be doing it that way. The top of my hair, the edges there is a little bit thicker than. So yeah, you're taking out edges. Do, 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 do. So once you've sectioned off your edges, we are going to now create sections for the Shebe application. If you're looking at the original video on YouTube, the Chatting women section their hair off into multiple plaits. I'm going to do 5. So the longer your hair is, the more plaits you'll have, and the thicker your hair is, the more plaits you'll have. If your hair is shorter, you can get away with like 1 or 2. So I'm going to have 2 in the front, 1 in the middle-ish, and then 2 in the back. So this way, when I apply the Shebe, it's not as messy. It's going to be messy, but it won't be as messy. So my sections are done. So make sure you section off, you know, your sections, your hair for the application. So I got 1, 2, 3, 4, and then this. These will be your sections for the next 4 months. If I make it that far, I don't know. I'm going to try. So yeah. So I have my edges out, which I don't think is even. And my lighting is terrible, guys, so I apologize for that. But I have my sections out and I'm ready to apply this Shebe method. So what we're doing, well, what I'm going to do is I'm going to moisturize my hair with rice water. Rice water is very good for thickening and help with growth. So I'm going to be using rice water instead of water. Be careful because it can be too much protein, so be careful. I would say alternate each application. So do protein the first time, which I'm going to do now, and then the second time that I apply it, it's going to be just water. So you don't want to do too much protein. And I'm reapplying the application every 5 days. You can do every 3, every 5, at the most every 7 days. So I'm going to do every 5 days because that's what I did before. And if I miss a day, I'll just do it the next day and then I'll start over from there. So up to now, we have our oils, we got our Shebe powder, we got our cream, we got everything we need. During the applications, you're going to need a pick or a comb. Pick is better because each time you have to take your section, comb through the section, brush off the excess, spray, apply. So I'm going to go ahead, we're going to go back to the voiceover and we're going to start the application of our first plait, our first section here. So this is just me explaining the benefits of the Shea Bay powder. You will like the results in the end.
Gaining length is always awesome. So let's get into the actual application. So make sure you have your Chebe Smoothie, your oils, and the actual powder right in front of you. So what we're going to do is spray your hair after, of course, combing it out with your liquid water, rice water, and then you're applying the oils from root to tip evenly. And then you're going to apply your Shea Smoothie from mid shaft to the end. Do not put in scalp. And then you're going to be putting your Chebe powder from mid shaft to the end. Do not put the Chebe powder in your scalp. It will take it out. Well, I should say it will clog your pores. So you make sure that that's evenly
So I
distributed.
forgot to mention that have a bowl of water and a towel ready because you're going to need to rinse your hands in between each application because I got to go through and braid each application. So what I do, I get a large bowl, put water in it, get a towel, set it to the side because I'm going to be dipping my hands in it each application so that my hands is not totally like covered in Shea powder. And so once your hair is totally covered, you go back.
So we're just going to speed this video up and do a voiceover so that this video is not too long. So we're plaiting the first braid. Remember, when braiding, pull downward to stretch your hair. It's very, very important. You want to make sure your hair is stretched and you braid all the way to the end. Once you braid all the way to the end, you're going to reapply some of the oils from middle to end, and then you're going to put the Shea powder on top of that, and then you're going to move on to your next plait. In between, you're washing your hands because you're going to have to reapply oils directly to your scalp and to the end. So make sure you're rinsing your hair in between. Or I'm sorry, rinsing your hands in between. And again, you're applying the Shea Smoothie mid shaft to the end. And after applying that, you're applying the Shea directly onto that until the end. You want your mid shaft totally covered with the Shea Smoothie as well as the Shea powder. Making sure that you braid pulling downward to stretch your hair. That's very important. Now, I do suggest that before doing this that you do a trim and measure your hair so that you can measure your length as you're doing this process. And again, this is not a hair growing treatment. This is a length retention treatment. You can retain length with the Chebe method. So as you're doing this method, as you do your maintenance, you'll find easier and quicker ways to get this done. I will say, if you're going to do this method, please do the method exactly as you see in the YouTube video. This is how I gained length when the first time I did it. I didn't choose to do like an hour or whatnot. Some people do that and then they wonder or they'll say they didn't get results. I decided to apply the Chebe method the same way the Chatting women do it and for a length of time. And I saw results. So I do encourage you to take time out of your day and commit to this, and you will see a difference not only in length but in the softness of your hair. This will help with shedding and breakage. So I do encourage you to do this method. If you have any questions, put it in the comments or shoot me in a message, and I'll be happy to answer anything or help you if you want to get started. I'll help you figure out what tools you need to get and how you retain those things. I don't know what I'm doing right now. I'm just chewing on something looking crazy, but it's okay. The other thing you want to be sure of is not getting any of the Chebe powder or the smoothie on those edges. We want to keep those edges free for a couple of reasons. One, you may need those edges for your wigs because we're going to be wearing wigs. If you choose to wear your hair out with the Shea, just know it'll smell. But you can wear wraps, hats, or what have you. We're almost done here. And also want to reiterate having all your materials ready before you. Make sure that you have your oils at the table, your Shea at the table, your pick, your moisturizer, your spray, and then your.
So we're done with the application. A few things to remember that are very important. As you're braiding your sections, you're pulling downward to stretch the hair. Make sure before you start this process, your hair is not in its curly, kinky state. You want to stretch your hair out as much as you can. I thought about flat ironing my hair to make it even straighter because it's longer when it's flattened out, flat ironed, but I decided not to do that. So I just blow dried it before I started and got it, in a easier state to deal with. So make sure you're pulling downward and stretching your hair as you're doing your braid, because what you're going to be doing is watching the length. You're going to be watching it as it grows. That's why this is a process that you do over time, so you can see the length retention. Again, this is a length retention treatment. It's not a growing treatment. The oils that the oil and the moisturization, that's going to help with your scalp, keeping it healthy, moisturizing, growing. And the Shebe you apply to mid shaft and down, that's going to help you retain your length. The rice water will give you your thickness. So, like I said, I've done this before and it gave me inches. It really did. I'm looking to grow my hair to my back, the small, like down to my waist when it's straightened, because my hair is very, very kinky. So when it's in its natural state, it shrinks up to nothing. But when it's straightened out, it's long. So I want to get it to my waist when it's straightened out. So hopefully this year I'll get some more inches. I'll probably have to clip my ends and lose some of that, but it's okay. And this is a very, very healthy way to leave out the heat in your hair, leave out the everyday combing and pulling it and the shedding and things like this. You'll notice as you go on with the Shea treatment, you'll have less breakage. I'm not saying it's going to stop all shedding and stop all breakage, but you'll have less. I noticed that the last time that as I went on in the months, when I combed it out, my shedding almost stopped and I was surprised. So that's why you're able to retain length, because the Shebe and the mixture of the oils and everything prevent a lot of the shedding that we do all the time. And this is why I do this during the winter months, my hair winter months, because it goes through a shedding period. And I thought, you know what? Let me do the Chebe method during that time, and I can wear my protective styles and I can wear my wigs during those months that my hair sheds the most. And this way, it's not shedding as bad. It's a great way to grow length. It takes commitment and time and preparation. And I promise you, if you do this, you will see length. You will see results. You'll see better and healthier hair. So, like I said, I'm looking to have more length. I'm going to go at least 3 months. I'm going to try to go longer. What is this? This beginning of November. So, November, December, January, February, March, maybe. We'll see. But I'm going to try to gain length, and I'm going to be doing videos every now and then as a update, just for you to see, the in-between application, what we do and how we do it. So if you have any questions, please let me know. If you want to start this method, let me know that as well. If you want to order the cream that I'm using, the Chebe hair smoothie, you can order that on my site. And thank you so much again for watching, and see you soon in the next video. Thank you. And you have a wonderful, exciting hair journey. Love you all.